What's good, guys? It is Jason Morrison. Welcome back to another one of my videos today. It's been a little bit since I made a video, but I just wanted to talk about a few different film topics. I'm really motivated. I'm ready to pump out a few more videos, and I have some great ideas for you guys that I want to really upload, something that has to do with making self-made B-roll. A lot of creators are kind of been putting out these types of videos for years, but I want to put my spin on it and just kind of see what I can do. So more on that in a future video, but today's video is just about the problem with chasing cinematic B-roll. So I know there's been a really big, filmmaking wave. Obviously, as you guys know, if you guys are watching my channel, if you guys watch any other filmmaking channels, you already know that B-roll, I mean, Daniel Schiffer comes to mind, and this is not me taking a slight at him or anything like that. I'm just saying this is what's big on YouTube. These cinematic B-roll videos, everyone's trying to make smoothest B-roll, the dopest B-roll, the coolest B-roll. You know what I mean? Like, cinematic B-roll is a huge thing on the YouTube filmmaking side of things, and I love it. Like, I watch Daniel Schiffer, I watch Peter McKinnon, Maddie, all those guys. I watch a bunch of different people, in terms of filmmaking content. But what I find is that cinematic B-roll, people are chasing like this cinematic B-roll so much that I feel like, at least for me in my firsthand experience, people are beginning to kind of lose sight of filmmaking and what it's about, storytelling, being able to really just make something really dope out of very little, being versatile in different filming scenarios. And I just feel like the obsession with trying to get the smoothest B-roll, just random shots of anything and just throw it together and make it look good, is kind of taking away from the, just the other aspects of filmmaking, and I'll get into that in just a second. So first thing that I've noticed, and especially this has been a big thing for me, I can't speak for anyone else, I'm just going to speak for myself in this video. If you guys relate, put it down in the comments and let me know what your experience is, whether you're new or you've been filmmaking or making videos and creating content for however long, it doesn't matter. I just want to hear what you guys have to say. But in my experience so far, in the little over a year that I've been trying to dive into this industry or just this creative space, I began to only try to make cinematic sequences, which is fine. Like, there's a lot of video content where you don't need to... Actually, no. I was going to say where you don't need to tell a story, but that's absolutely false, because you always need to tell a story. Whether it's visual storytelling, using certain camera angles, certain focal lengths, certain shots to tell a story, you always, like, story is front and center. No matter what type of video you're making, whether it's an interview, whether it's an automotive cinematic video, whatever the hell it is, story is always number one. And with B-roll, I'm not saying you take away from story. In fact, if you have a good story, that just makes your B-roll 10 times better. You know what I mean? I found that I was only using slow motion, smooth, silky B-roll or whatever the hell, just to try to make something look cool, and I was ignoring story. I had no storyboard. Even now, I don't usually have a storyboard. I don't usually plan out my projects, and I want to start doing that, because you want to put 110% into whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that you're planning it out. Like any video that I've done a shot list with, which I can think back, the cereal bowl video I made, I had a shot list for that. And it's so much easier, guys, when you know what you're doing and you know what shot you're going to be making, each step of the way. Not every video situation is going to be super planned out and organized, but it's just so much easier when it is planned out, and when you do have that story, and when you do have that roadmap of what you're doing. But I'm getting off like on a tangent. My point is, I was shooting B-roll just for the sake of B-roll and just throwing random clips together and making it look cool. And yeah, that's dope, but I was starting to lose sight of the storytelling aspect of filmmaking. You know what I mean? The beginning, the middle, the climax, where the story begins to rise and it ends. And I've been able to do that decently well. Like my previous video, put it up on the screen right now, where I filmed like me and my family, my sisters and my nephew and stuff like that. We went out to the Quincy Quarries Reservation, and I think I did a pretty good job of showing when we got there, showing the journey when we were there. I didn't put myself in the video, but my sisters and my niece and my nephew, excuse me, going through the reservation, looking around and having a good time. And then the climax, they got to, the sun was going down, you see the sunset shots, you see the mountains and stuff like that. A beginning, a middle, and an end. You know what I mean? When you're just chasing silky smooth shots, trying to make random shots look good, sometimes I forget that, and I'm sure you guys can forget to really tell a story with what you're doing. Another point is, though, you're just not as versatile. Like, if you're only good at filming slow motion B-roll shots, you're probably not going to be that good at filming interviews. You're probably not going to be that good at shooting short stories and stuff like that. Maybe, you know, you're watching this right now and you're saying like, hey Jason, like that's not even what I want to do. That's not the area I'm in. There's really nothing wrong with broadening your skill set. Like, why would you not want to know how to film an interview? Why would you not want to know how to tell a story or film a short film? Like, there's no downside. You don't have to do it, but there's nothing wrong with knowing how to tell a proper story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Not just shoot B-roll, but be able to actually use a roll. I know no one usually uses that term, but use shots or whatever. I know you guys know what I'm saying. I'm not the best at explaining, but you just want to be more versatile and not just only know how to shoot slow motion B-roll or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Don't limit yourself. Don't be the guy who's not as versatile, because, you know, if you can really cover all your bases, really get good at a bunch of different video styles, you're gonna be more valuable to the marketplace. And I actually want to make a video on that as well, because especially if you're a freelancer or a content creator, bringing value to a marketplace or bringing your skills, your, you know, what you have and what you can bring to the table and giving people value that you can then turn into income is super important. It's something I've been learning over my time, just trying to make this work in a business sense, but also in just, you know, something that's sustainable. And just kind of piggybacking off of my last point just now, is just you're not able to adapt to certain video situations. Now, I can't speak off of this one firsthand because I haven't really put myself in too many situations yet. I'm still new to this whole filmmaking stuff, but I haven't been in too many situations yet where I necessarily didn't know how to adapt. But I did find that when I was going to shoot some videos, I lean more towards slow motion, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with leaning towards slow motion. But I didn't know what to do with my regular motion shots, my real-time shots, and I didn't know where to frame them, what to do with them, and it's just like, that's crazy, you know what I mean? You should know how to use both regular motion shots, slow motion shots, how to tell that story, even if it's not just slow motion B-roll. And that's just because I was chasing cinematic B-roll, not learning how to tell a narrative or story, and just focusing on slow motion shots, because it's so easy to put those together. You don't really need to do, I don't want to dismiss it, but you're not using as much thought when you're just taking a small piece of something really cool and just throwing it together like a little montage type thing. But I don't know, I'm not dismissing slow motion B-roll or cinematic B-roll. It has a time and a place in it. If you can use it as the icing instead of the whole cake, then you have a really good, really dope, really solid piece of content that you could use when you're creating your films or you know, your cinematic pieces, your work, whatever piece of content that you're currently editing, working on, or gonna put out. And, you know, not even just too deep of a point, but I just want to be able to make things that are just not just pretty cinematics. Like I said, I just want to be able to have my skill set be broad enough to where I'm not only known for making pretty cinematics. I want to be able to shoot an interview if I want to. I want to be able to shoot an automotive video if I want to. I want to be able to make you know, a workout video, athlete training video, anything, because I'm not putting myself in a box. I want to make all types of film content, all types of, you know, video content, stuff like that. Learning how to tell a story, it doesn't have to be a short film, just a story in general, like I said, where you have that beginning, the middle, and the end. It works in all types of video content and all types of video scenarios. You can only benefit from that. You can only benefit from having those skills. And all in all, you just don't want to be redundant. You don't want to run into a situation where all your work is starting to look exactly the same. You always want to be pushing yourself forward, hitting the next bar. You know, upping your video game, upping your editing game, upping your ability to have cinematic movements, tell stories, use unique framing and stuff like that. Always just making sure your next project is better than your last. And when you're only chasing cinematic B-roll and certain shots and you're doing the same things, your work becomes stale and then you're not growing as a filmmaker. But I feel like I've used all the points I've really thought of for this video. It's just something that came to mind, and I made sure to put it down in my notes because I wanted to talk about it. I feel like some people who are going to watch this video can relate to me and understand where I'm coming from. Even if I didn't explain it the best, I'm sure you guys know what I was talking about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want a lot more videos to come out in the future. I'm going to be on my grind lately to bring more content like this. And I'm really excited for that solo B-roll video because I want to try to make that really special. That's going to be my first sort of narrative-driven short film of myself. So stick around for that. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. I want to put out a lot of different film content, but not just that, like vlogs and other video content that I feel comfortable uploading to my channel as I try to grow my film/videography business with some photography on the side. If you guys want to see some photography videos as well, put it down in the comments. But anyway, guys, without dragging this out too long, I don't want to be rambling for too long. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. It's been Jason Morrison. Have a good one.